Simply put, the global community is off track towards meeting the Millennium Development Goals, or MDGs, by 2015. As the G8 summit approaches, it's vital that commitment for the MDGs is renewed. Undoubtedly, the MDGs provide a useful common language for development partners and the broader public. There have been many successes, such as reduced poverty, and in countries where political commitment is high, the results are good. At the same time, progress is not fast enough, and to tackle significant problems, we need additional measures beyond those currently in place. This year's United Nations call to action is a welcome wake-up call, and G8 members need to be listening, need to be sounding the alarm in their own countries, and need to be working on concrete solutions to real problems. There are big risks in 2008, a global recession, inflation, increased food and oil prices, and so the call to action is essential to make sure that efforts against poverty and deprivation are not suspended. Bringing in new constituencies, business, cities and faith groups does make sense, and G8 leaders have an important role to play in bringing these groups to the table. All this suggests a 5-point plan for 2008. Point 1. To continue to work on the basis that the MDGs can be achieved and develop the necessary strategies to achieve them. Demand more of developed countries failing to meet the Gleneagles commitments on increased aid, and at the same time demand more of developing country governments and new actors like business. The second point is to look into other factors which are crucial for the goals to succeed, a kind of extended call to action which would focus on enhancing the debate in the South, focusing on the underlying processes such as emphasising indicators rather than targets. The next point is to put strategies in place specifically for fragile or failing states. We need to urgently find ways of removing the divide between humanitarian and development actions so that these work in concert in these states, protecting people while developing long-term systems and capacity. My fourth suggestion is to take specific actions to protect the poorest from the risks facing them in 2008. In particular, an immediate rollout of emergency food security measures, especially in the most vulnerable countries. And in the medium term, the development or reinforcement of social protection systems, while recognising that higher food and commodity prices can be good for the poor and for poor countries. Finally, we need to start work now on the Millennium Development Goals post-2015 by securing commitments at the G8 summit that lay the groundwork for the United Nations summit on the MDGs in September. To summarise, the Millennium Development Goals should lie at the heart of development practice, but we do need to focus on the underlying processes and implement additional channels that enable more countries to progress.